Roger tugged at his tie. Not sure that's wise. You can see it's a wreck. Besides, the electricity is turned off. It'll be dark in there. I mean, look at the place. Jaime had been. She'd done nothing but look at the house since they'd arrived. She vaguely remembered the place as one of the many the business had purchased over the years. Henry bought old houses. Then he and his crew repaired and renovated them, and she and her team transformed them into homes, with paint, cabinetry, built-ins, fixtures, and furnishings. Only once had Henry made a mistake and bought a house that wasn't worth saving. Once. And wouldn't you know, that had been the house Henry had let her keep after the divorce. I don't have to do this, he'd told her last week in his attorney's gleaming office. But I suppose it's fair that you get something. Fair, he'd said. And he'd actually smiled when he'd said it. She stared at the house, willing her jaw to unclench. From here, she couldn't see the cracks in the foundation, but she knew they were there. She also couldn't see the termite-weakened floor joists, the leaky roof, the ancient pipes, or the heat runs wrapped with asbestos, all of which had contributed to Henry's eventual decision to pass on renovations and look for a buyer. Just her luck that she'd discovered he was cheating on her before it sold. So very lucky, she said, apparently louder than she'd intended, because Roger gave her a startled look. What's that? He asked. Well, sure. I suppose there's luck involved. It'll take some doing to get a real estate agent out here in the first place. Jaime shook her head and didn't bother explaining. I'm going in, she repeated, and started up the driveway, paying no attention to Roger's sputtering objections and outright warnings. They'd driven separately, and both had parked at the street. They'd had to, really, because the driveway was blocked by a fallen oak tree. Recently fallen, Jaime noted, given that the leaves were still mostly green. The tree's mass had blocked their view of the house, which was probably a good thing, because if she'd seen what the tree had done to the roof of the wraparound porch, she might never have left her ancient pickup truck. Good Lord Almighty, Roger said breathlessly, huffing and puffing as he trailed along in her wake. I had no idea the tree hit the house. Henry didn't say a thing about the damage last week. Of course he didn't. Jaime's jaw muscles ached from being held so tight for so long. The rat-fink didn't say anything he didn't have to, except when he was charming clients, contractors, and other women. Then he was all smiles and charisma. She adjusted her baseball cap and took quick stock of the tree-induced damage. The porch roof was a complete loss. The porch railing, the same. The floor and front steps might be salvageable. Maybe. With the tree gone, though, she could see the entire front elevation of the house. 2 full stories. A turret. No, make that 2 turrets. Brick chimneys, a 3rd floor with enough windows to guarantee generous attic space, clapboard siding, and so much gingerbread trim that she almost expected to see Hansel and Gretel. That roof is in rough shape, Roger said encouragingly, and I see at least 3 broken windows from here. Who knows how many others there are? Really, Jaime, the smart thing to do is to sell. With that profit and the small amount of cash you have, you can start fresh. Just look at it. It's massive. Far too big a project for you to tackle. And with all those windows and all that fancy trim, it's an out-of-date Victorian monstrosity. Queen Anne, she said absently. What's that? Well, anyway, some sort of historic house. Probably on somebody's protected list, so that's gonna make renovations even more expensive. Sweetheart, I'm just looking out for you. Your parents asked me. Well, they know you've been having a hard time. They just want to make things easier for you. Her parents wanted her to stop sleeping on her best friend's couch and move back to their house, which meant a return to the childhood bedroom where she'd spent so many hours spinning fantasies about the life Henry and Jaime would lead in their happily ever after. Even worse, back to the sampler her 7-year-old self had embroidered badly,